Frag Radio. Frag Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, baby, for another episode of Frag Tag Radio. And here with you today
Sing it.
are your boys, Radius.
Matter of fact.
And your boy Death from Above.
Alright, raise the roof.
What?
Alright, so of course you know what we gotta do. We gotta get those plugs out there. So first of all, Appy Gamer, big things popping. That's on Android and iOS as well as Windows 8. Mobiles Republic, awesome app, Appy Gamer. If you haven't heard of it, it's time you woke up, start smelling the coffee. Big things. Awesome app. We're on there. Check it out. Download it. World of Video Game News. Another huge app. The good thing about World of Video Game News is they've got it in like multiple languages.
Nice.
So it's not just in English. And then they've got multiple, like, and then when I say multiple, I mean like over 100 sources in that app. I mean, it's insane the amount of sources that they have in that app. World of Video Game News, that is on Android. Download it. Awesome app. And then also Game RSS, which right now is the Haunted Frag Tag Edition for a limited amount of time. Probably, Halloween's over. I imagine we'll be switching back to the regular edition soon. So get it while it's hot.
I get Thanksgiving edition.
That's right. Get it while it's hot. Game RSS, and that's one word, no spaces. Game RSS. Boom. All right. And then if you're on Windows Phone, Game On, and that's one word also. Game On, one word, no spaces. Awesome app. If you're on Windows Phone, it's really one of the only good apps for gaming news on there. So you're pretty much, what other choice do you have? You need to download Game On if you're on Windows Phone. And that'll be coming to iOS soon if it's not already on there. J-Ray would have the word on that, but we'll talk to him later. And then Xbox One news and Xbox Game News, both on Android.
Yep.
And as always, we're on Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, the works. Big things. Also, tweet us on Twitter. Tweet at FragTag Radio.
Tweet that, buddy.
At FragTag Radio. You can also catch us on YouTube, FragTag Radio, and FragTagRadio.com for those who want to get that episode 15 seconds before it goes up everywhere else.
It matters.
It does. Matter of fact, it matters.
Hey. While you're on that YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe to our show.
God bless you for remembering that. Yeah. Let them know. Subscribe. And we got that contest, giving away a copy of Grand Theft Auto 5 with the pre-order bonuses.
Yep.
The works, everything. Might even throw in some stickers and some of that other little bit of swag stuff that Rockstar sent us.
Yeah,
we'll throw some of that in there. But what you got to do is we're going to post up a topic on the website. You go to and then when you go to that topic on our website, it'll have a link to our YouTube to subscribe. You subscribe to the YouTube and then comment on the article letting us know that you subscribe to the YouTube
That's right.
with your YouTube name so we know who you are so we can verify.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just have any fakers.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, and once you've been verified, your name will be put on a slip and thrown into the FTR Trucker Hat of Justice for a drawing for Grand Theft Auto 5. And that'll be sometime right before Christmas. So I would suggest subscribing immediately. Matter of fact, people who subscribe this coming week will get their name in the hat twice.
Oh,
the FTR Trucker Hat of Justice.
Yeah. What I'm talking about, fellas.
I can't wait to see this hat.
It's pretty epic.
I bet.
It's pink camouflage.
Nice.
Yes. But yeah, so as you all know, we've recently switched it around. Instead of going straight into the news, we're doing the reviews and conversations and then moving into the news. So, matter of fact, you've been playing GTA Online with me.
Yes, I have.
A lot.
Quite a bit.
And we have been doing one solitary thing. What is it we've been doing? Let them know.
Races. Leveling up and collecting that cash.
What is the benefit of doing those races?
The cash and experience points. You get more cash and experience points doing these races. It might seem mundane, but after 10 races, you get $100,000.
Pretty much, yeah.
At the levels we're at.
Yeah.
And it's still fun, though.
Yeah.
Random pieces of cardboard on those tracks.
The key is to find a good radio station
that's true.
That you really
Rebel
enjoy.
Radio.
Yeah, that's ours, Rebel Radio. And then you just set the race to one lap and make sure you do it on the track called Down the Drain.
Down the Drain, yeah.
It's located in the ditch, right next to Los Santos Customs in the downtown area.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and it's the shortest one too.
Yeah, and that's why we do it. It's the shortest track. It's 2 straightaways with 2 left-handed hairpin turns.
Yeah.
And boom, 1 lap, you're done. It takes on motorcycles, you can get it done in 1 minute and 15 seconds or less.
Yeah.
And that's
now let them know who don't know. Are you going versus other gamers, or are you just going versus the computer?
Well, you can't go against the computer, but the key is you get a buddy. Yep. Like me and Matt, we go in there, we set it up, me versus him, and you just take turns letting each other win. 1 race I win, 1 race Matt wins, and the winner, well, you'll start out at like 5,000 and work your way up slowly, and after you've done so many races, you'll peak at 7,000. So every time I win a race, I get 7,000. Whenever Matt wins, he gets 7,000. And if you get second place, which you're guaranteed to get because no one else is in the race,
it's almost
it's damn near 4,000.
Yeah, it's like 398 or something like that.
So it's worth it.
Experience points when you get first place is like 2,000, isn't it?
Yeah, a little over 2,000, and second place is a little over 1,000. So you do that, and you'll be leveling up like every 5 races, depending on what level you are. If you're high up like I am, like up in the 80s, it might take like 10 races before you level up. But even still, I mean,
it goes quick.
1 minute and 15 seconds a race, you're talking 15 minutes, you're leveling up.
Yeah.
So
small price. I mean, that's really not that long.
Therefore, you get a decent amount of XP for each race.
Yeah. And then every time you back out from doing those races, like, every time me and P here, we do so many races. Once we feel like we're getting kind of, enough's enough, we'll back out, see how much money we got.
Yeah.
And then if you leveled up so many times, you look to see, when those little pops up in the bottom left hand of the screen, like what you unlocked to the ammunition, stuff like that. And then you just go right back to it.
Yes, sir. So definitely. And then there's going to be an update coming out this week. By the time you hear this, the update might even be out. And then shortly after that, finally, the stimulus package coming, $250K, followed by another $250K. Who knows when?
Yeah, that's true.
But anyway, so The Wolf Among Us, we actually got the review up on the website you wrote.
Yeah.
Check it out on the website, Wolf Among Us Review, fragtagradio.com. But so go through and then let us know the basics.
Basically, if you don't pay attention to who the characters are or anything like that, like the setting, it's a detective story.
Right.
I mean, you're basically trying to figure out something. Something happened. You got to figure out, kind of put the
and you're
pieces
playing
back
as
Bigsby Wolf.
Right, and he's the detective.
Yes.
Of Fabletown?
Fabletown. Yeah, they're all fables.
Right.
So, basically, I don't know how he got put in charge of this town or how it all happened.
Right.
Because, I mean, basically, he has to take control of all the fables. And any fable that gets out of line, he has to go there and pretty much tell them, hey, this is it. Either do what I say, or you're going to the farm, which is where pretty much you put fables that don't have their glamour, which pretty much hides them, their true appearance from the mundanes or the
everyday people.
Yeah, the everyday people.
So some of the big names that people will know:
Snow White,
Ichabod Crane.
Yeah, he's filling mayor.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yep, they're in there. And also they have lesser ones. I forgot the names because
What's
I never heard of them.
the Toad guy?
Toad's in there from Wisp and the Willow.
Right.
Snow White, Little Red Riding Hood, I'm sure is probably going to be in there. They have Big Bad Wolf. They have the Three Pigs from
Right.
the Big Bad Wolf.
Right.
The Woodsman from Little Red Riding Hood. And, I mean, I'm sure just from playing the first episode, I wanted to find out how many other characters they were going to include in this story. Because there's one part where you do research and stuff, and there's just so much lore that they can tap into.
Right.
To,
because each character's got a huge backstory.
Yeah.
So gameplay-wise, it's a lot like The Walking Dead.
Mm-hmm.
But for someone who hasn't played The Walking Dead, what's the basics?
Basically, it's real cinematic, but there are times after the cinematics end, and it's kind of like whenever the cinematics happen, it's a gameplay where, say, you're talking to someone and they shoot out like a phrase towards you, and you have to respond in a certain way, and they give you a certain amount of time.
Sorry, a certain amount of time to do it. So it's almost like a quick time event.
Yeah.
But it's like Mass Effect conversation trees, but it's also a quick time event because you have to do it before time runs out.
And that's what builds the pressure up, because you want to make sure you respond the right way or do it the way that you think it should be done. And once that time runs out, it automatically does a certain response for you. But after that, you can control it. You can walk around in certain environments and actually search for items or key signs. Any kind of clues. You use the right stick to move a cursor around the screen. And if something's interactive, it will pop up, and you have different options. If it's a person, you can talk to it. But if it's like an inanimate object, you can either look at it or hit the A button to interact with it, depending on what it is.
So, overall, fragging it. As you know, we don't frag stuff on the site. We just kind of write the review and let the reader decide.
Yeah.
But on the show, we put the hammer down.
Yeah, we do. I would have to frag it as a 4.
4?
I mean, the first episode was good, but I'm also I'm basing this on the fact of the future episodes coming out.
Probably going to pick up as it goes along. Sure.
Yeah, because when you finish the first episode, they give you a preview of the next one.
And I'm sure that there's probably a cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah. But when you see the preview for the second one,
you're like, oh, the second one needs to hurry up and get here.
It does. And you think it makes you question the choices that you made throughout the first episode.
How often are these episodes going to be released? Is it every month, just like The Walking Dead?
Sure. There is no real time frame set. Yeah. They're just going to try and get them out as quick as possible. I know that The Walking Dead Season 2, which we'll be talking about, just got announced officially. You'll be playing as Clementine, but that's going to be taking place over the course of the year 2014. Okay, so my guess is like 5 episodes, and it's going to be like every 2 months you get an episode.
Yeah. So
which I think is what it's going to be. So not every month, probably like every 2 months.
That makes sense.
It was going to take place over the course of 2014.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing every 2 months you could probably expect an episode. And now that they've got this with Bixby Wolf, they can kind of alternate. Like 1 month you'll get Wolf Among Us, the next month Walking Dead. So that way it does for people who are real big fans of Telltale. You don't have to wait so long in between. You'll have something every month to play.
Yeah.
But yeah. So 4 frags. That sounds like a pretty tight review. And Girl Fight. Now,
Girl Fight.
This game is interesting to say the least. Another review you wrote, put it up on the site.
Yeah.
You played it pretty in depth. And you were saying it's a lot like Dead or Alive.
It is in the fact of
Rumble Roses.
Rumble Roses. Well,
looks like Rumble Roses. Plays like Dead or Alive.
Exploitation of women in Rumble Roses, I guess you say. And the gameplay itself, I mean, it's not as deep as Dead or Alive, but you can definitely see
hints.
Yeah, like a lot of combos. There's punch, kick, throw, reverse, and basically you're inside this computer system and you have to fight your way out.
Each of the girls had like this special ability.
They just side abilities.
Right.
Yeah, you can pick 2 between each fight.
And that's why they've been chosen or kidnapped or whatever.
Yeah, abducted, yeah. Even then the story wasn't really quite too clear.
Right.
But,
And so, since this is an arcade game, obviously it's not as deep as your retail Dead or Alive.
No. But I mean, for $10, especially if you had a buddy to play with, it's fun.
Right.
You know, and the backgrounds are actually surprisingly pretty good. There's one in there that looks like it's straight out of Mech Assault with like a walking, I think they call it like Timberwolves or something like that. But you have combos. There's no like, you know, projectile attacks like fireballs or anything like that. Just punching, kicking. A lot of it boils down to reversing and parrying the throws, stuff like that. And but I mean, a lot of just the fact that there's boobs jiggling on the screen.
Yeah, it's not gonna
revolutionize the fighting. Yeah.
Not gonna hold a candle to Killer Instinct, but
no,
could be a good way to waste a weekend if you're looking for something to do.
Yeah, to kill some free time, definitely.
And so fragging it,
I'd probably give it 3.
3
frags.
Sounds good.
One of the things I liked about the game, you get cash points, and you have to use those cash and points to unlock psi abilities, you know, or actually character skins or different pictures in the art gallery. But every time you do a physical damage to the other character, the other opponent, you get rewarded for it. So it's kind of an incentive to try to, you know, do the 7-hit combo, or to, you know, parry and then do another combo. So I mean, you know, it was somewhat deep in it, and they actually put forth some good effort in it.
Now, what's the multiplayer like?
Fun, really unpredictable. When you play against a computer, you can kind of tell what they're going to do, but when you play against an opponent online or just, you know, sitting on the couch, it's a completely different game because everybody's sitting there. You know, they'll trade off a combo while you're blocking or trying to counter it, and then you'll do the same thing. So it's kind of, you know, like rock, paper, scissors in a way. You have to wait until that exact moment when you know they're going to come at you with a punch, and you just counter it, and then go with, you know, from there.
Awesome. So, I got a couple of reviews to do myself, but before we do that, Def, you recently reviewed Painkiller, Hell and Damnation, which is like a remake of a game that came out. It was already out before on PC, I guess. And now that they kind of redid it with the HD graphics. You said that it's a lot like Doom or Serious Sam.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's like you play this guy named Daniel, and him and his wife wind up getting killed in a car accident. So in the original game, Daniel goes to battle all the demons of hell, and he's going to fight the devil so he can get his life, capturing that. Well, in this one, apparently Death had a bet with the devil, and he lost, and he's getting you to recruit to get his 7,000 souls back, and he promises you to see Catherine. It's a really decent game. More or less, you just go along anything that you would think you would see in hell. Like there's like a dark church, like it's like really dark and demonic feeling. There's like a carnival called Looney Park, where in the beginning of it you know it's just a standard shooter, and then as you get further into it, you ride this roller coaster, which is one of my favorite parts of the game. And it's like, in all the multiplayer, when you're on a helicopter, you just gotta keep shooting.
Right.
The bad guys pass by, but this one is like really fast. It's like, if you don't kill them, if you're on a roller coaster, if you don't kill them, you just bypass them, or the roller coaster will run them over if they're on the tracks.
So you're saying that it's like literally an on-rails shooter.
That's exactly what it was.
Awesome. And so the multiplayer was pretty fun too?
The multiplayer was alright. I did the small core survival. It was more or less like is a horror. Is a horde mode. Excuse me. There's a horde mode where you went up to 4 other players to just get on there and just try to kill every demon, monster, skeleton, whatever comes on the screen in the amount of time. The way that game is set up is that you said how much time you want to do it. You said how many lives you want, and then you just go at it. You know, I was just playing in the standard.
Nothing like going at it.
You know how that is, especially on a horde mode.
Yeah. All right. So, frag wise, what are you thinking for that?
I'd give it about 3.5 racks.
3.5. Nice.
Nice, yeah.
Not bad at all. And then so Batman Arkham Origins, you've been getting down on. We were talking about it a little bit before the show. I know you haven't finished it yet, but what are your thoughts so far?
First impressions.
It's pretty much like the first two, Arkham City and Arkham Asylum. It's pretty much, this one you play Batman.
Of course.
He's 2 years after he becomes Batman, so like a lot of the villains that you're meeting up, he doesn't know who they are yet. They aren't his nemesis yet. Like, there are a few that you know. You know the Penguin, you know Bane, but like you don't know who the Joker is.
Right.
Something like that.
Oh, okay.
So this is a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel before the first two.
Right. And so graphically, are there any graphic upgrades, or does it look pretty much the same as Arkham City?
It pretty much looks the same. The combat's the same. The fighting's the same. Where you use the counter and the attacking from enemy to enemy. The only difference is this one, the enemies are more aggressive. More of them. There's more on
more on the screen.
The fight. Yeah, and then they're coming after you.
Does the world feel larger now that you're in Gotham rather than in Arkham, the Arkham City?
Well, you played. And you did a section where you're in Arkham City. It's part of the world, but there's like a separate island that you get to it by traversing this bridge.
Right, and that's what I had heard about in reviews. So they pretty much just cut and pasted Arkham City and then added an island next to that where you could go.
Basically, yeah, that's what they did.
Now, how are the mechanics for controlling the gadgets?
The same as Arkham City.
Are they?
Pretty much the same. Like you have your quick draws. Like you tap RB, right trigger, left trigger, and he throws a boomerang, or you hold it and then you select, whichever one you have equipped. You just hold it, then you press your right trigger to actually use it.
Okay.
Pretty much you have your standard. Thus far I haven't. No, there's one new one I've seen. It's called the concussion grenade, and it basically like blind your enemies, and just like they're shooting randomly or they're swinging baseball, whatever weapons they have. They're using. And
so I had heard somewhere that Mr. Freeze isn't in this one, and so you don't get the freeze weapon. Is that true?
I don't know. I haven't made it that far yet.
So he probably isn't in there.
Yeah.
So pretty much this is Arkham City with a new story and another new island added on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's another mechanic that they added is there's a fast travel. What happens is
nice. Yeah, that was very much needed in Arkham City. So
yeah, instead of having to go,
especially now that they've got that bridge in the middle. I heard that thing is a pain to walk across all the time.
It's a long bridge. It's a really long.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The fast travel, the way that works, it's pretty much you know how the section of Batman Arkham is divided into, you have let's say Park Road, and you have the other section. Well, you use the what's the name of this not the Batmobile, but the Batplane to go from section to section.
Right, I gotcha.
The only
the Batwing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Batwing. The only bad thing I've noticed about that, when using that, the loading time is a little long.
Oh.
No, I have it installed. Disk, so I can't say if installing this will quicken it. But,
I'm sure it probably would.
Yeah.
Usually.
Unfortunately, this game doesn't come without its glitches. There are a few minor video glitches. Like I've heard reports of people getting in an elevator and the elevator goes up while they stay down, or they fall on the top. I haven't seen any. The only glitches I have, like there was when I first got in there, I think maybe an hour into the game, I saved and then wanted to go play the next day. My save was corrupted.
Wow.
Right.
So I saved it on a. I do 2 save files now. One on the
cloud.
One on the hard drive and one on a flash drive. And that's about it. That I've seen so far. Oh, and it froze maybe like twice on me.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, Depending on how
Yeah.
far you are in the game, what are some of the villains that you came across so far?
I've seen Bane. I've seen the Penguin. I've seen Anarchy.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen the Riddler challenges are still in it, but instead of him being known as the Riddler, being this is the first time you've encountered him, he's just going by his name, Enigma.
Oh, okay.
For sure. And then I think the big question is, have you played the multiplayer yet? And is it worth anything?
I haven't jumped into the multiplayer yet because I'm scared if I get into it, I won't get back to the campaign. And I know.
Well, I've heard that it's pretty throwaway. So you'd probably go right back to the campaign. It's probably what you'd do.
I'll definitely give it a try. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah. But yeah. So preliminary. Are you thinking 3 frags, 4 frags? What are you thinking?
3.25 as of right now.
3.25. All right.
That's reasonable.
Reasonable. And then so. With that, I've got 2 games.
2 games.
First is How to Survive.
Okay.
Which this came out on arcade. What was it, about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago?
Just about, yeah.
Really interesting game. If you are into zombies and you like Diablo, then this is gonna be perfect for you.
Perfect match.
Because it's, I wouldn't say open world, but you start out on an island, right? And the island isn't like a huge island, but you can go anywhere on the island, right? But that's not the only island. There's like a chain of islands.
Oh.
And if you can gas up a boat, you can move from one island, to another.
Okay.
And of course, there's zombies on all the islands. You meet this guy named Kovac, who's been living amongst these zombies on the islands for a while. In fact, he has taken one of the islands and fortified it and made it into like his home, safe haven, or whatever, and which is where the game gets its name. He has written a How to Survive survival guide, and you will find chapters of that book littered around the world, and whenever you find it, it'll bring you to a cut screen with Kovac's voice telling you, introducing a new gameplay element, or, sort of acts as like a tutorial to teach you new things that you can do as you progress through the game. It's actually really funny. Kovac is the most memorable and interesting character you'll run into. I will say that most of the characters, their voices aren't horrible, but they're not great either.
Gotcha.
And the script is decent, but it's not great either. So it's like, people will die. This is a zombie game.
Yeah.
But you won't really care because you're not going to feel very attached to them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But that being said, that's really my only complaint on the game, because the gameplay is just so awesome that it makes up for all that. You start out with a stick, and then you upgrade to a machete, and you will get guns, but it almost seemed like I was having more fun using the machete and just rolling around and hacking the zombies, doing it Diablo style rather than using the guns.
Okay.
Because you've got limited amount of ammo, and you got to reload, and the first shotgun you build is like a CO2 powered shotgun that you have to pump up, or whatever, and that thing takes a while to reload.
That's it.
And so you don't want to be caught reloading when you're surrounded by a horde of zombies, because it's not going to be good times.
Now, I think I heard that this game's not only about zombies, but also surviving yourself.
Right. There's I guess you would call them safe houses on each island, right? And outside of the safe house is like a red light, and the door is like a jail door almost, big steel door that you've got to pull to the side and then close so the zombies can't get in. Well, you go up to one of these safe houses with the red light. As soon as you open the the light is green. But when you open the door, that light turns red, and you hear a siren starts going off, and then all the zombies in the area start coming towards you. And you've got to kill them all before the light will turn back green again so that you can rest in that safe house.
Oh, I see.
And you will get fatigued, and you will need to sleep over time. And the only place you can sleep is in these safe houses. So the key is to go and rest actually before you're completely fatigued, because you don't want to be battling all the zombies for that safe house when you're fully fatigued, because then you're going to die before you even get a chance to rest.
Yeah.
So the way I figured, you wait till you're about halfway, start feeling kind of tired, but not all the way, and then you go to the safe house, do the thing, clear out the zombies, close the door, and then you can lay down and rest.
Okay.
But it's not just rest. You've got a health meter, a stamina meter, a food meter, and a hydration meter.
Really? Okay. So they kind of keep you on your toes.
Right, and all these meters are going down in different ways. Obviously, health only goes down when you get damaged by a zombie, and stamina only goes down when you choose to run.
Oh, okay.
Running uses a crap ton of stamina. You can't just hit run and run away from a pack of zombies. Running is in very short bursts.
Okay.
You see a pack of zombies on you, and you can hit the button and use all your stamina to move 20 feet away from them over this way and get just far enough away to where you can use a healing item or reload a gun or pull out a different weapon or whatever. But it's never going to be enough stamina to get you completely away from the pack of zombies.
Okay.
So that sense of danger, really is always there.
Yeah.
The food, there's animals like deers, boar, things like that on the islands. You'll get a bow and arrow is one of the first projectile weapons you get. You can hunt the animals. When you hunt them, you can't just eat the raw meat because they're obviously infected with the zombie virus. So you've got to find a campfire, and there's a leveling system. So whenever you level up, you get skill points, and you can choose an upgrade to unlock, and one of those upgrades is being able to start a campfire and cook stuff. So once you have that upgrade, you can use the meat that you get from hunting and cook it on the campfire and then eat it. And then if you do that, that'll refill your health all the way. There's also little plants like roots and stuff around that you can find to give you a quick little health boost. You eat a root, it'll fill up 1/4 or 1/5 of your life. So you'll have to eat 3 or 4 roots to get a significant amount of health back. And then there's wells around in different places where you'll find water to drink
for your hydration.
Right, and then you'll also find empty bottles and stuff around the island, and you want to hold on to those because when you get to the well, you can fill up the water in the bottles, and you can also use the bottles for gas. Because sometimes you'll find a big tank of gas, but obviously you can't carry that whole big tank. So you fill up some of your bottles with gas.
Nice.
Overall, it's a really awesome game, and like I said in my reviews on the site, it's really refreshing to see a zombie game that puts more of the emphasis on the survival rather than just the mindless zombie killing that every zombie game is doing nowadays. So, with that in mind, I would have to go 4.5 frags on How to Survive, and then comes the gem of this week, which is Castlevania Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate HD. Oh my god, Matt. Oh my god, Kev. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. The game is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a 3DS game. They ported it over to consoles. Obviously, they did upgrade to the visuals, hence the HD on the end.
Yeah.
And also, of course, an upgrade to the controls because you now have 2 joysticks rather than that one on the 3DS. Bullshit. Sorry, Nintendo. But yeah, so the controls, obviously I didn't play the 3DS version, but I just know. It can't compare to playing it on a real controller. But yeah, so you play the game. Well, first of all, the game takes place over a span of 60 years. You start off as playing briefly as Gabriel, who is Dracula. If you've played the first Lords of Shadow, you know that. And then you learn about Trevor, who is Gabriel's son, who supposedly went to the castle to stop his father and avenge him for shaming the Belmont name. But he's been in the castle forever. No one's heard from him. Everyone assumes he's dead. But he had a son before he went to the castle, Simon Belmont, and that's who you start out playing as. He's going to avenge the death of his mother, who gets killed at the very beginning of the game, and who he assumes his father is dead. But of course, if you play Castlevania, you know that Trevor Belmont is also Alucard, the guy from Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
And you'll play as him also later in the game, which is another one of the cool things about the game. Like, there's different acts, and in each act you play as a different character. The first act you'll play as Simon Belmont. The second act you'll play as Alucard, and then so forth and so forth.
Gotcha.
So the platforming is really awesome.
Upgrading.
It reminds me a lot of the old Castlevanias.
Okay.
More than Lords of the Shadow, because like the gameplay is of course like 2.5D.
Yeah.
And you can move, you can go up, down, backwards, forwards, and there's secret areas that you can find.
Okay.
Different areas that you won't be able to access until you get certain items, and then you'll want to go back to go to those areas to get the health upgrades, the magic upgrades. And like I mentioned in one of my review, one of my favorite things was finding these the dead knights around.
Oh yeah.
Each dead knight you find has a scroll left behind them, which is like their last words or thoughts or whatever. And it was just interesting to me reading the last words and thoughts of all these dead knights that you find around. It's all this. It's surprisingly really well written. And the scrolls are actually pretty brief. They're not like really long stories or anything. There's just like a brief, like a paragraph or two.
Yeah.
But it was just interesting to me, going around and finding out, what's happened to all these people. And I thought it really nailed home the fact that like a lot of people come to Castlevania, but not many people leave.
Yeah.
So I thought, just the Knights in that aspect did a really good job of nailing home that, idea.
Fleshing out the whole world. Yeah.
Letting you know that like it's real things up in here. There's lots of different types of rooms you'll go through. A kitchen, a library, a cellar, a dungeon, a theater. There's like a carnival-based room with like a carousel that's like possessed with like these battering ram things coming off of it. And you've got to like really test your reflexes dodging that. And then the bosses are all hard.
Yeah. I assume they would be.
Yeah. This Castlevania after all.
Yeah.
So, the enemies, I wouldn't say they're your average enemy. They're not hard, but they're not easy either.
They might have like a certain pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that you never feel like overrun because there's never more than 4 or 5 enemies on a screen at a time.
Okay. So it's manageable.
Right.
Now, do you get like, like in the old Castlevania, you had like the cross you could throw, holy water, like knives, stuff like that. Do you still have those secondary weapons?
Yes, the secondary weapons. The first one you'll get is a throwing axe.
Okay.
And then you'll get an oil flask that you can throw and it'll light shit on fire.
Okay, yeah.
And how many times you can throw those is based on your ammo. Right. So you'll have like 7 ammo, and that accounts for your throwing axes and your oil flask. So you can do 7 throwing axes or 7 oil flasks. And once you use 7, you're out until you find more ammo. So it's not, you can't just like infinitely throw axes over and over and over and over, because they are pretty powerful for a secondary weapon. One of the most interesting aspects to me was the spirits that you can find. Whenever you find a spirit, and there's 2 types. There's defensive spirits and offensive spirits, right? Defensive, left bumper. Offensive, right bumper. Okay. So you find the spirit of Belnades, which is a female spirit. The first one you find, you absorb her. She's a defensive spirit. Whenever you see like a waterfall of spirits that you can, and if you try to walk under it on your own, you die.
Oh, okay.
But you just hit the bumper and activate her, and she like is above you. She like comes out above you with her arms out and like shields you from the waterfall of spirits. Okay. Or like sometimes there's like these walls of light, like hard light, like coming straight down, and like if you try to walk through it, you can't. You'll like hit it and be knocked back. Okay. But if you got the spirit of Belnade, you activate her, and then she takes the damage, and you can walk.
Oh. Okay.
Walk through, and she'll also absorb damage. You can use her in battle. Like if you're fighting a boss, she's helpful.
So they sound like they're really essential to exploring like levels. Later on, once you get them,
they're essential to exploring and essential to battle. So they work both ways. They work for combat and exploring, which is why another one of the reasons I thought they were so cool, because they had like multiple uses.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one you'll find is the Spirit of Schneider for Simon, and these are just the first two spirits for the first act that you find for Simon. There's different spirits for Alucard, and so forth.
Okay, cool.
But so the Spirit of Schneider for Simon is your offensive. He's while Spirit of Belnades is blue, this spirit is orange, and he has a crossbow.
Oh, okay.
Now, one example is of in combat, you summon him, and he'll fire the crossbow at enemies while you're fighting them. Another example of how he helps you get around, there's this one part where there's an elevator that you need to go up. But the elevator is attached to a rope, right? And there's a gargoyle over here. Okay. And every time you try and get on the elevator to ride it up, that gargoyle comes over and spits fire at the rope, and the elevator falls and you die.
Okay.
And it says you will need help to get up this elevator because of the gargoyle.
Yeah.
So I got that spirit, and then I go back to that elevator, and then I start reeling it up, and then the gargoyle comes over, and I have that Spirit of Schneider, and he shoots crossbows and shoots down the gargoyle
before it has a chance.
Right, before it has a chance to knock the elevator down. So
that's cool.
Like I said, interesting stuff like that. The story's real good. The fighting, they did a really good job of bringing the combat from Lords of Shadow into a 2D environment. It's actually surprising to me how well of a job they did with that. Because it feels just like the combat from Lords of Shadow, but yet it's in a 2D environment. So, really good game. I'm 5 fragging it. So,
5 fragging it?
Yeah.
Nice. So that's a must. Must download.
Like it,
yeah. Definitely a must. All right, but yeah, so on to the news. Angry Birds Star Wars confirmed for Xbox One and PS4. Ladies and gentlemen, the next generation is here.
It's arrived.
When you know Angry Birds is coming, that's that mark that lets you know the next generation is here. The next gen consoles can run Angry Birds.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people probably thought it was going to be too powerful, that the consoles might not be able to handle all those graphics. But rest assured, it will run at 1080p on both. All right. And then, Matt, if you want to let them know November's free games.
Yeah, November's free Xbox games. It's World of Keflings and Iron Brigade. I've never played any of them. I think Iron Brigade is...
Double Fine.
Yeah. And, World of Keflings, that was a sequel, isn't it?
To Kingdom of Keflings.
Yes. And I have yet to download either of them. Well, for World of Keflings first and then Iron Brigade later, but I definitely will check it out.
Both of them are good games. World of Keflings, you play as your avatar, and there's like these little elf-looking people, and you can have them like...
I guess those are the Keflings.
Scavenge for resources like stones and wood and water, whatever. You have them scavenge for supplies, then once you get supplies gathered, you use them to build structures like a school or a library or a great hall.
So it's got like an RTS feel, kind of like...
Yeah, except you're not really battling anybody.
You're just building a village or whatever.
Right.
Gotcha.
And, there's different little characters in there, like the Queen of Keflings, who will give you, like, little missions and stuff.
Oh, okay. And that's with your avatar, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you can play as your avatar, or I think there's, like, a generic person you can choose to play as. Yeah. And then Iron Brigade, it's like a third-person mech shooter. Really awesome game.
Is it? Okay.
If you haven't played Iron Brigade, that's a must download. Game's awesome.
I'll check that out when it comes out.
Double Fine always delivers. I'll put that out there too. But yeah. So and then we were talking about Batman. Rocksteady aiming for 2014, and rumors are the game could be called Arkham World or Arkham Universe.
Now,
during the VGAs,
that is
crazy. They had like a little joke from the Joker talking about Arkham World, but everybody assumed it was just the Joker joking, and it wasn't like a real thing. But then recently Warner Brothers copyrighted the name Arkham Universe, so a lot of people are thinking that's what it could be called. So you never know. But
do you think this could be like an MMO?
Possibly.
Like DC Universe was?
Maybe a mini MMO,
something like that. Yeah.
But they haven't even officially announced it's going to be a Batman game yet,
Okay.
but you can bet.
I mean, it's Arkham.
It's gonna be a Batman game. It's Rocksteady. It's gonna be a Batman game. The question is, what's it gonna be called, and how big's the world gonna be?
Yeah.
So, they're shooting for sometime in 2014. I'm guessing this time of year.
Yeah.
Just like Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
Boom. And then Assassin's Creed Liberation, which we talked about was coming to consoles previously only on Vita, coming to 360 and PS3. That'll be coming to consoles January 14th.
Okay.
So not too far away.
No.
Boom. And then in some sad news, and I know Death is sad about this, Watch Dogs delayed until next year.
Yeah, that really pissed me off because it really looked good when I went to Comic-Con, and that really excited me to play it, and here it is pushed back.
Well, there was also other games delayed until next year.
Yeah, well, PS4's had a few games delayed.
Yeah, they have, yeah.
First was Infamous, which everyone assumed was going to be a launch title, but that's next year.
Next year.
Right, and then you had Driveclub delayed, and now PlanetSide 2 delayed.
The Stick of Truth was also delayed.
Right, and that was just recently delayed. Stick of Truth, that's delayed till next year. Which
we kind of called last episode.
They were crazy to try and release that like 10 days before Christmas anyway.
Who was it that said it last episode that they'd be surprised if it actually came out?
I think that was Aaron.
Yeah, well, they were right. Because as soon as I saw that, I was like, you have got to be kidding me.
Right there.
But yeah, so Watch Dogs delayed, and all those other games we just mentioned delayed. Lots of games getting delayed. South Park's neither here nor there because that wasn't going to be on next-gen consoles anyway.
What else got delayed?
What else?
My PlayStation pre-order.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the games I wanted for it aren't coming out until next year, so...
Yeah, Killzone wasn't enough to hold it.
No, not when there's two great first-person shooters gonna be there, I'm still getting it, but...
Just not right away. All right, and then and some interesting news, the Dishonored developers, Arcane Studios?
Yeah.
They're going to use the CryEngine now instead of the Unreal Engine, which they used the Unreal Engine for Dishonored, right? Yeah. But now they're switching to the CryEngine, which I think is pretty interesting because I'm guessing their next game is going to be another Dishonored.
Yeah.
So why would you go to a whole new engine when you already have everything set up?
Maybe they feel like it's
maybe they feel like they're going next gen. Maybe CryEngine can put out better graphics. I don't know.
Maybe that's what they're thinking.
But I just find that interesting that they're switching it up from Unreal Engine to
wasn't
CryEngine.
the best looking game in the world, so that probably does have something to do with it.
They might be trying to change our stuff.
Well, it wasn't the worst either.
No, but it could. For next gen, maybe the engine they were using just didn't have the capabilities that they needed for next gen.
Yeah.
Hardware.
Yeah. All right, and then NASCAR 14
coming
for all my white boys out there.
That's right. Early 2014.
Yeah, that's coming on 360 and PS3. No word on that coming to next gen consoles, strangely. But me personally, I'm not a big NASCAR fan. Won't be buying it anyway. But if you are a NASCAR fan, rest assured it's coming. Call of Duty Ghosts gonna have a 3 gig install on 360. Mandatory install.
Yeah,
we've been seeing more and more games doing this now on the current gen consoles. Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
It
helps it really.
Right, and then that's like the trickery now. Like as we're getting towards the end of the generation, one of the ways to trick these consoles to performing a little bit better is to have some of the information on the disc and some of the information on the hard drive, so we can pull from both at the same time. So, and then beyond that, you're going to see a lot of the final games of this generation. You're going to see doing that, I think. Until this generation slowly phases out, and then it'll be all next gen. So, but and then Forza 5, we talked recently, a few episodes ago, about how they were going to have rewards for those who had played previous Forza games. Well, the reward system is up now. Okay. You don't even have to wait for Forza 5. You can just go to the Forza website and then log into rewards. And it automatically knows what Forza games you played, and you can unlock the rewards now. Nice. And then as soon as you boot up Forza 5 on your Xbox One, the rewards will already be there waiting for you.
That's convenient.
And then rewards come in the form of credits, or you might get a car, or it could be anything.
Okay.
Boom. And then Connect Sports Rivals, they're having a preseason coming November 22nd. I guess, J-Ray probably wasn't the only one who was upset about that game getting delayed till next year.
Yeah.
So they were like, all right, well, we'll get you a preseason so you can dip your toes in the water. Yeah.
Little demo.
But the preseason is only going to have the wave racing portion of it. But those who download the preseason between November 22nd and November 30th will unlock bonuses, including a founder player title, a Connect Sports Rivals wetsuit, and a special jet ski.
Holy shit!
For the full version of the game when it comes out. So you're going to want to play that preseason. Get your exclusive jet ski and wetsuit.
Get it on.
That's right. Boom. And then I thought this was pretty big news. Microsoft extending the Games for Gold program indefinitely.
That's nice.
Hopefully they'll start coming out with better games for it.
Well, this month
that would be big news.
We got a World of Keflings and Iron Brigade.
Oh man.
Hey man, don't sleep. Iron Brigade is a pretty awesome games. Yeah,
both decent games. Iron Brigade was a really good game. It's just not really something you get out of bed for. To about 10, 3-year-old game that
Yeah, well, my guess is that's just like, since you can keep them and since you can like cancel your gold subscription right afterwards.
They're probably thinking we don't want people to join, get these games.
Right, we don't want to give them like, hey,
so you get a gold membership to get a $15 game. Why not just buy the $15 game?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just like an extra bonus on top of what you're already paying for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I mean, if you were actually going to try to take advantage of the system, you're not going to really gain that much out of it.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're doing it this way so people don't take advantage of the system.
Yeah.
Like, because otherwise you can be like, oh crap, Halo 4 is the game of the let me go get a gold membership.
They shouldn't give out.
That's usually $40 for games on demand.
But they shouldn't give out top tier games, but come on, give us a little something more than what you've been giving us.
Well, I would say Halo Reach would have been better than Halo 3.
They should have like a vote.
It should have been Halo Reach.
Or Brotherhood over Assassin's Creed 2.
Alan Wake.
I mean, come on, there's just a bunch of them.
Alan Wake needs to be an option. One of these months.
That'd be nice.
Spread the word, spread the love for the Wakester, get more people pumped up. But yeah, so there's that. Matt, me and you saw. Did you see the video of Orchid and Spinal?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Dope.
I'm excited.
Dope.
I saw the one with Orchid and then the teaser for Spinal.
Yeah, the Spinal's at the very end. Yeah. Spinal is looking bad ass.
Isn't he? I'm proud of him.
Yeah, let's tight.
Dude's looking badass. And Orchid, she was like a super fast.
When she was a lot faster than she was what I remember.
Yeah, she was super fast.
I love the Jaguar. And if you watch that video, I thought the coolest thing about that video was how the achievement pops up. And how it kind of came up and then expanded and then kind of came back. It was I don't know. It looked a lot better than that clink.
Yeah.
And then it just looked a lot more fluid. And, like, man, that's good stuff. Because a lot of times when you get an achievement in this one, it'll be like, you'll hear the achievement thing, then like 3 minutes later, and you're like, okay, thanks. That's what that little beep meant.
Yeah.
Or you might just miss your achievement altogether. And
that's happened to me before. Somehow I lost a whole with The Walking Dead.
Really?
A long time after I played the Telltale game series. Yeah. I was looking on, because when you get a perfect achievement score for all the achievements for a game, it shows up on your thing. And I was like, why in the hell is that not up there? I know I got every achievement. Man. And somehow, episode 3 did not give me not one achievement for it. But here's the weird thing. It shows on my thing, like, it shows that I have the achievements, but points. Doesn't give me the gamer score for them.
Really?
Yeah, it is the weirdest thing, man. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I even tried to go back and replay it. I can't get the achievements because I've already got them.
Have you deleted? Oh, yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's true. They
registered as giving me the achievement. It just didn't give me the gamer score.
Man.
That's weird stuff going on. Yeah.
Boom. So PS4 party chat's going to support 8 players, and then people went to ask Microsoft how many are y'all supporting? They're also 8 players. So both consoles, 8 players for party chat. Whoop-de-doo.
What is the current 360?
8 players.
Oh, okay. So
no change.
Same.
At least that PlayStation will have party chat.
Yeah, that's a plus. Now, there's been we got a lot of news in here about PlayStation this time. Now, it's weird because it seems like Sony saved all their bad news for right before launch.
Smart. That's smart. Wait till everybody's got them pre-ordered already, you know? Get them hype, and then slowly let them down.
Tear them down.
Now, it won't support external hard drives, but that's not really, because you can still replace the internal hard drive on it, which is, what a lot of people do with PlayStations. Okay. Which is, kind of a cool thing, because you can just take a regular computer hard drive. You can do that in a PS3, too.
They've got, for the changing out the internal hard drive on PS4, there's certain standards that the hard drive has to have, which they listed on Kotaku. I didn't write them on here, because it was a fairly... technical list there that I didn't feel like going over. But if you're interested, you can find that on Kotaku.
Yeah, there's like a video showing you how to do it too. So,
but yeah, so won't support external hard drives. Remote play won't work well outside your house, and they're suggesting that you don't even do it at all outside your house.
The whole purpose of it.
Which is funny to me because when they first introduced remote play, they had a video of a kid on a subway train. With a Vita in his hand, playing the PlayStation 4 game.
They planned on having it, and they realized that it's a lot more work than what they initially thought. So now it's something they're going to have to continue to work on, and it won't be it won't be something they can do right away.
Right.
And this is the one that I thought was kind of strange. It won't support audio CDs or DNLA. Now haven't heard anything about MP3 playback. That's crazy. If it don't, I mean, Curiosity or whatever it's called is on there, and you download MP3s from there. So how the hell does that work?
Well, what they're saying is like you can download stuff from them and play it, but like you can't hook like your iPod or whatever and play MP3s off of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well you could do that on a PS3, which is why that's so damn strange.
Yeah, well,
PS3 had DNLA too, so why? Yeah,
well, that's another weird thing, and then also. The new DualShock, the buttons aren't pressure sensitive, but the DualShock 3 buttons were, so they've kind of like taken a step back there.
I wonder why. I mean, now DNLA is something that I never use, but people do use it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's pretty much exactly what Windows Media Center is for your 360.
Yeah.
It's just streaming information from your computer or another device to your console. So
I have never been able to stream any content from my phone to my 360 though, wirelessly.
He has.
I have.
You have? How did you do that? You're have to show me how. Now, computer, I've done that a lot. Through Windows Media Connect, I've actually watched movies, bootleg movies and stuff. Yeah. I don't watch bootleg movies.
It's weird because his phone just works with his 360.
Mine doesn't.
There's an option.
You have to show me.
If I download a video, like just something off the internet, I'll look on my phone, and then there'll be I forgot what the icon looks at, but like on the top right of the video, you hit that button. And if my Xbox is on, the screen will go like to input, and then all of a sudden it will play what's on my phone.
Yeah.
I've never figured it out.
I've never had that happen on my phone either.
Yeah.
But I've seen him do it. It's crazy.
You need to show me how that works, because that's something I would have liked to have done a lot. I mean, I always use my Apple. Used to use my Apple TV for that.
Oh, okay,
when I had my iPhone, and that's why I liked it so much. But audio CDs, no big deal. But that's something not many people use. But DNLA, that's kind of a big deal. And MP3 playback, if you're forcing me to buy everything from Curiosity, nobody's going to do that.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, before this news that came about, Xbox One can't do these things, then it would have been like, oh my gosh, everybody would have been reporting it, but only because it's PlayStation 4. Only a few places are letting this news out very quietly. I find that stupid.
Well,
take Microsoft's time.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it has to
see. If it was Microsoft doing this, everybody would have already canceled their Xbox One pre-orders by now.
Well, you got to.
But this is Sony, so we're giving them a pass.
You got to think of the timing though, because the Xbox did it when the buzz about next gen consoles. Everybody wanted to know so much about them because it was all. Sony waited
brand
until
new.
that initial buzz died down. Everybody has their pre-orders, and by this time, if you've pre-ordered one of the two consoles, you're probably going to defend it now.
Yeah,
you know,
stick by it.
And those people have made their decisions, and it's too late to change them. Like you can't if you've pre-ordered a PlayStation 4. By the way, GameStop opened up their last final allocation of Xbox One pre-orders. I don't know if you
I read about that.
Yeah.
And
they closed it. They closed it Thursday night.
I thought it opened up on the 30th. That would have been Thursday. No, that would have been Thursday.
That would have been Wednesday. 31st was Halloween. That was Thursday.
Yeah, so damn, it lasted a day. So it's done then. So yes, it's too late. If you pre-order PlayStation 4, you cannot cancel it and go pre-order Xbox or vice versa. You can't.
Right. They're all sold out everywhere.
Yeah, so...
But I was reading somewhere that Walmart still had some.
Walmart does still have some, but they're only bundles.
Oh, okay.
You can only pre-order a bundle, and they're like $600 or $650, and they're like extra controller and 2 games or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Target had something like that.
Amazon still has Xbox One pre-orders available, but they're not the day one edition.
Right.
So I mean, they're out there. It's just not ideal. So.
Right. And then Ubisoft caught some flack over their Uplay Pass for Assassin's Creed 4 because, usually these things lock out some of the multiplayer content. This actually locked out some of the single-player content.
Well, it's because that single-player content is multiplayer driven because they have these community events, and they're based on if somebody finds something, the only way they'll pop up on your map is if somebody targets it on your map for you.
Right.
And that's why it is a single player part of the story, but it uses multiplayer features, which is why.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't even matter why now because Ubisoft's they've gotten rid of the Uplay Passport. Tons of people complained about it, and just like EA, they've gotten rid of it. So.
Speaking of that,
effective immediately, no more Uplay passports, and all the ones that are already out there, I think they said they're reducing the price of them to $0, so you can just download it for free if you already have a Ubisoft game that requires one of those.
Speaking of Assassin's Creed 4, it's getting good reviews. It's killing me not to be able to play it right now. Killing me, because anybody listening to this show knows I love
you are all about it.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
And
IGN gave it 8.5. So.
And IGN ranked all the Assassin's Creeds from worst to first, and they put Black Flag second behind Assassin's Creed 2. They put Assassin's Creed 2 is 1, and Black Flag 2, Brotherhood 3, Assassin's Creed 3, 4, Assassin's Creed 1, 5, and Revelation 6.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't do the mobile versions.
I would have put Brotherhood before 2. I like Brotherhood way better than 2.
Yeah, I mean, Brotherhood was 3, and Brotherhood was a great game. I think 2, I probably put 2 had a better story.
Okay, yeah.
Because they had Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, I mean, it just had a better story in general, but Brotherhood was a better overall game. Brotherhood also brought the multiplayer, which people love, to the forefront. So, I would probably put Brotherhood. I haven't played Black Flag, so I can't really say, with that. But as what I've played, I probably could go Brotherhood, then 2, then 3, then Revelations, then 1. That's probably what I would do. Because 1 just was bland. I mean, it was a great game, but it didn't have much to do, and the story kind of blew. I mean, 1 was definitely the worst of the series, in my opinion. And then Revelations was probably the next to worst, because that didn't have a very good story either.
Yeah, it was also shorter than the other.
It was shorter. It was a lot shorter in a smaller world.
Yeah,
but I mean, Revelations was what I liked about Revelations so much is your weapon collection and costume collection or armor collection. That was when it hit its peak. And then with Assassin's Creed 3, the way they did their whole costumes instead of armor sucked. Well, you know how you didn't collect armor pieces or buy armor pieces anymore? You just got costumes, and I thought that was lame.
Yeah, well, plus, when Assassin's Creed 3 first came out, it wasn't exactly polished all the way, and there were some glitches, especially in the Frontier.
Yeah.
Now, another part of that Uplay Passport that wasn't available is when you board a ship, that ship becomes part of your fleet.
Oh, okay.
And you build up your fleet with ships, and you can send those ships out.
That was the single-player content that they were saying.
Right. And you could send those ships out on missions, and friends can help you with those missions in the fleet. So that's what.
Right.
But so next gen Assassin's Creed, I'm waiting for the Xbox One version, and then I'm gonna play it for 7 straight minutes.
7 whole minutes. All right, and then you were talking about the Xbox One achievements, how they're color coded now, or you can set a color for your achievements when they pop up. So whatever color you like, you can set that as your color for achievements, which also helps. Like me and you were talking about earlier, if you're playing on the same TV with someone, now on 360, if an achievement pops up, you don't know if I got it or you got it because we're both our profiles are signed in, and it doesn't say Pradius X UCM achievement unlocked or matter of fact achievement unlocked. It just says achievement unlocked and then the name of the achievement.
It's a mega project.
Yeah. But yeah,
should be matter of fact.
It should
be.
You give me $10 and I'll do it.
Damn. Might have to eventually, one of these days. But yeah, some Windows 8 apps will run on Xbox One. Not all. The Dell was the one that came out and first brought this to light because they were talking about how their new PCs, you'll be able to stream apps and sync them with Xbox One. Now, Dell tried to make it sound like all Windows 8 apps, and then Microsoft had to come out and was like, whoa.
Let's clarify this.
Dell can say whatever they want, but it's not all. That's some, though. So that's pretty much what that is. But even so, I think that's pretty cool. And it just shows you, how similar the two operating systems are. And it also means that porting a game from Windows 8 to Xbox One and vice versa is going to be super simple.
Okay.
Which is going to help both platforms, I think. Machinima launching an exclusive experience on Xbox One, which is pretty much just another Machinima app. There's one on 360 now. This one will just be, a little better,
I guess.
But yeah, so if you're a Machinima fan, bam!
There you go.
U.S. pre-orders update. Xbox One's been gaining some ground, and there's analyst Colin Sebastian, who's like a Michael Pachter type guy who comes out every now and then. He was saying that Xbox One might even edge out PS4 in the launch window due to having more units available. Blah, blah, blah. The latest pre-order data puts PlayStation 4 gained roughly 125,000 pre-orders for a total of around 700,000 in the U.S., where the Xbox One gained some ground, 175,000 pre-orders during the same time, which is 50,000 more than PS4, which puts the Xbox One currently up to around 550,000 pre-orders, or about 100 to 150,000 pre-orders lower than PS4 at this time. Week 1 sales for both consoles are expected to be pretty similar at the current pace. PlayStation 4 could sell just slightly over or under 1 million units, with Xbox One right around that same area. Colin Sebastian, who's the analyst at the Xbox One, according to him, will enjoy slightly higher launch window unit sales than its rival PS4. And then this is quoted, while many forecasts still give the edge to PS4 in North America, we continue to expect similar or even slightly higher sales of Xbox One by the end of the launch window, he told investors, as reported by Games Industry. He adds that between the pair, both of them could shift up to 6 million units combined this year, with each selling 1.5 to 2 million units in North America and 2.5 to 3 million units worldwide. He also believes sellouts are inevitable, which, I think everyone knows that.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, no matter who sells more at launch, it doesn't matter, because ultimately it's what these consoles do in the next 2-3 years. Because we've talked about it before, the only people going out and pre-ordering these are the hardcore gamers.
Yeah.
And the sales are going to be, families. They're going to be judged by the families and the people that are on the fence and happy with their current gen, and when and winning them over when they do go to next gen. That's where it's going to be. Because I'm going to tell you, Titanfall is going to help Xbox One when that comes out. That's going to sell some units. Yeah. And I think Infamous might sell some units too. Probably not as many as Titanfall, but it's going to help. And there's also other games like Halo. When a Halo comes out, that's going to move units. Yeah. If a Gears of War comes out, that's going to move units. If an Uncharted comes out, that's going to move units. So these consoles, there's a long ways away from being able to say.
And not just games too. It's going to be the services.
Yeah. For that's more for the families. Yes. Right. That'll. But either way, yes, it's going to affect sales. So it's going to be. a lot of the functionality for both consoles isn't going to be available at launch, so we don't even know. A lot of people just probably going to sit back and wait and be like, okay, well, I'm going to see which one takes the edge, you know? So.
Yeah.
Right. Bada boom. All right. So, internet is required on PS4 for your first Blu-ray DVD playback.
It's mandatory internet! Oh my god! Always online!
Which is weird.
I'm calling Sony and they better change their effing policies.
Which, yeah, I found that really weird. Like, after all that crap they said about Microsoft and what they were doing, you have to connect the PlayStation 4 online before you can even play a Blu-ray or a DVD movie.
Well, I mean, I guess that's kind of to be expected, though, because you have to get online for your updates anyway, now, even with the current gen.
And then you won't be able to suspend and resume gameplay at launch either. But they'll be bringing that, I guess, in an update later, down the line. They haven't said exactly when. But
sounds like these consoles could have used another 6 months.
Yeah, they could have waited another year to get everything fleshed out better.
Hell, if they waited 6 months, Xbox One could have launched with Titanfall.
Yeah, I could have used another 6 months of wallet.
Time to save up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So there's that. And then we already talked about DualShock 4 losing the pressure-sensitive buttons. Killzone, Shadowfall, dedicated servers. Now, I guess they'd come out, the developer had come out and said that Killzone, Shadowfall, or someone at Sony said Killzone Shadowfall had dedicated servers.
Yeah.
And then someone went in and interviewed the developers, and they were like, well, we just want to clarify that when we say dedicated servers, we mean that, the servers are going to handle all your scores and leaderboards and stuff, not gameplay. Which, to me, that's not a dedicated server.
No.
But, whatever.
It says requires a 7.5 gig, 7.5 gigabyte install before play. But I was reading somewhere that it's actually like 40 to 50 gigs.
Right.
And then overall,
the whole game is 40 to 50.
Oh, that's just before you can play.
Right, but you have to install 7.5 gigs before you can play.
Okay.
But and then the whole reason that they were touting this whole play go thing where you're supposed to be able to play instantaneously as soon as you put the disc in, play as it's installing right away, no wait.
Right.
But you're going to have to wait for this 7.5 gigs to install, and that's not going to be instantaneous. I can tell you that now.
No. Well, I was reading somewhere too where one of the Sony developers or whatever was saying Killzone actually could have been like a 400 gig game. Wow. When they initially were doing it, they had to dumb it. They had it to where it would have been a 400 gig game, and obviously that was not possible because when your hard drive is only 500, you have one game taking up 400. But I just thought that was insane. Like, what in the hell could be 400 gigs?
Like, what's in there?
Luckily, that's not the case.
MMOs aren't that big.
You'd have to buy it on Tuesday, and you wouldn't be able to play it until next Tuesday after it was finished installing.
Hell, they might as well just sell a Killzone branded hard drive to plug into your PlayStation.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Just for Killzone. Don't even give us a disc. Just give us a damn hard drive.
Yeah, just, and then you have that other 100 gig left for DLC, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's only going to get you one DLC pack, though. What are you going to go think about that, too?
But yeah, so wow. And then of course the Azure Windows servers, Microsoft has announced that they're going to have dedicated servers for all of their games that support multiplayer.
They better. That's their strength is internet. I mean they're fucking Microsoft. So
Albert Pinello confirmed to forum users on NeoGAF that all developers will have access to their dedicated servers, cloud processing, and storage for save files, all for free, at no cost to the developer. So obviously, developers are going to utilize those dedicated servers with it being free. Yeah. Boom.
Boom.
The Resident Evil creator came out and said that Xbox One and PS4 are almost identical between the two, and he says that this is going to be a good thing because, for him, he's only going to need one or the other console, and then porting it over to the other is going to be easy peasy Japanesey. But it's obviously not going to be super easy right at the launch because some developers are having problems getting the resolution, like Call of Duty Ghosts, 1080 on PS4, 720 upscale on Xbox One, yet Forza 5 running 1080p native 60 frames per second on Xbox One, yet a first-party game on PS4, Killzone, is running at 900p at 30 frames per second. So, you know, the resolutions and frames per seconds are all over the board for both consoles. You know, you've got arguments on both sides.
It doesn't even matter because...
I mean, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Just it depends on the services and the games. I mean,
well, talking about the resolutions and stuff, I mean, the 60 frames per second versus 30 frames per second, that's something that you could notice. But when you're talking about the difference between 900 and 1080 is so minimal. 720 to 1080, yeah, you're going to notice that. Yeah. But barely. I mean, you're going to notice it, though. I mean, but 900 to 1080, you're talking about 180. That's it. That's not much.
Right. And the games that are 720 are being upscaled to 1080, you know, through the hardware, which is going to, you know, go from there. So
it's not a big deal. I was actually watching my phone is in the car, but I took pictures of all over the place. They're doing Battlefield 4 graphics comparisons.
I've seen those.
But IGN had a fantastic one where they did Xbox 360, PS3, PS4, and Xbox One. And then they would stop, and then a little thing would flash by, and it would just go screen by screen through all four. And they did. They looked really good. The only thing that you noticed, I mean, of course you noticed current gen to next gen. That was obvious. But the only thing that you noticed is Xbox One definitely seemed brighter in areas. And you couldn't really tell because, like, PS4 would be really dark, and you would be able to see, like, certain things. And then when it would go to the Xbox One, it would be almost the exact same, but in certain parts, it would be so bright that you couldn't see to compare it. And I was reading, actually, though, that some guy had taken the pictures, the still frames of the Xbox One, and changed the brightness of it. And I guess he was a graphical engineer or whatever. Yeah. But anyway, and did it, and he actually got the image to look identical to the PS4s. Wow. And they were kind of wondering, like, why did they have it so bright? But anyway, point being, they're basically the same. They look the same. But for whatever reason, Battlefield made the game look a lot brighter on Xbox, which almost flushed out certain areas of the game. Yeah, kind of flushed it out. But it was unnecessary because this graphical engineer could actually make it look identical to just by tuning out the brightness of it. So I wonder why they had it that way. But anyway, they look pretty much identical.
Right, and then on Battlefield on PS4 is running 900p native, right, and on Xbox One 720 upscaled to 1080p. Yeah. So, you know, but yeah, they're very, very close. All right, so and then we already said PS4 version of PlanetSide 2 delayed till early 2014, Driveclub delayed till early 2014. Both of those delayed. Xbox One could be adding game gifting after launch. I hope they add the shared library back.
That'd be nice.
Because that was one of the main features I was looking forward to.
Me too. That is the feature I was looking forward to most. I still can't believe that the stupid ass community got them to change it.
Yeah,
pisses me off.
Hopefully, it finds its way back. You know, and obviously they won't be able to do it for the physical games because of the non-DRM and whatever. But they could still do it for the digital downloads.
Yeah.
I wanted it the way they intended it.
Now, did you listen to the podcast Unlocked with the interview with Phil Spencer?
Yeah, some of it.
It was a really good interview. I mean, like, Ryan McCaffrey actually asked him a lot of good questions. First of all, he asked him about Rare. Like, a lot of people have been wondering, is Rare a Connect-only developer now? Well, you know, are y'all going to let them off the leash so they can make a controller-based game again? Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. So, Phil said, you know, Rare is not a Connect-only developer. They had, and in fact, they haven't told Rare that they can only make Connect-only games. Rare, you know, came up with the Connect Sports, and then that game enjoyed success, so then they continued on with it. And he also hinted that they actually probably or do have a controller-based game in the works right now. And he didn't say whether that could be an existing Rare IP or a brand new IP, but it's not going to be a Connect game, whatever it is. So, and I think that's good news.
It is, especially from Rare.
Yep.
All right.
I heard all the stuff he said about Gears.
Yeah, he said that he's interested in having Gears of War on Xbox One.
I would sure hope so.
Yeah. But to have Gears of War on Xbox One,
they would have to do something.
They need to breathe new life into the series over at Epic. They need to rethink what's going on.
And he had said, to kind of reboot it a little bit, not reboot, but
to quote him, he said, "I want to find a great Gears game, and I thought we did a good job with Judgment, but I don't think it hit that level of quality we saw in the previous Gears games. I think review scores showed that, and I think sales showed that.
Yeah.
So I really think we need to take a step back with Epic and think about, I wouldn't call it a reboot because that's an overused term, but think about where the franchise goes and how to expand what it was. I'd love to have that conversation. I talk to the Epic guys often. They're busy just like us right now. I think they've said that Gears is kind of on the back burner for them at this very moment. So I think it would be a situation of when the opportunity came up, and when the time is right. So my guess is we're going to see Gears on Xbox One before the console life cycle is over, but not right away.
No.
Which is probably a good thing. Let Gears rest for a while.
Yeah, that's true. And when it comes back, it'll be
they've got
fresh.
Titanfall now, which is going to take the place of Gears with
I'm sure
with no
sequels
problems.
to Titanfall too.
Right. So and then was it boom? And then the bombshell that came out this past week. Titanfall exclusive to Xbox One for the lifetime of the title, and then a lot of people, even J-Ray was speculating that it would probably be a timed exclusive and make its way to PlayStation 4 later, which we even argued on an episode. I was like, no, it's not, and J-Ray was like, oh no, I think it is.
A lot of people thought that. Yeah. I mean, I saw no more than a week before they announced it. IGN did a whole video on when they thought Titanfall would come out for PS4, and they all thought the same thing, that it would be a timed exclusive just because of the responses that they kept giving about it.
Yeah.
My guess is somebody at Microsoft finally stepped up to wrote the paycheck and said,
wrote that check.
That's exactly what happened because Vince Zampella tweeted, after the news came out that it was exclusive on Xbox One. He said, they just found out recently, evidently EA and Microsoft just recently worked out a deal to make it sure that it was exclusive, forever.
And we had been saying that if Microsoft was smart, they'd lock that bad boy up.
Yeah.
And they should have, and they did. Good for them,
So, boom. And then it's weird. Yeah. It's weird to me because, just a week or two ago, you look at, the comments on articles, lots of Sony fanboys saying, oh, can't wait to play Titanfall on PS4. And then a lot of Xbox fans saying it's not coming to PS4. And they're like, oh, it's coming. It's a timed exclusive. Didn't you see that DualShock 3 controller in the back of that vid doc that Respawn Games did? PS4 confirmed, motherfuckers. and then this news comes out, and then now they're all, oh, I was never interested in Titanfall anyway. It's just going to be another Call of Duty. It's going to suck, blah, blah, blah.
That's why I think Flame Wars is so gay.
Funny, because just a week ago, y'all were like, oh, can't wait to play it on PS4.
Yeah. That's how all fanboys are. That's why it's no reason to even argue with people about it. It's so ridiculous.
Ridiculous. But,
every Titan, I mean, this is skipping ahead a few, but we're on the subject of Titanfall. It says every Titanfall campaign map has its own multiplayer mode, says Respawn. I thought it was having a campaign.
Well, the campaign and the multiplayer is mixed, right? So you'll be playing through the campaign, but it'll also be multiplayer. But you can choose to each level or map or whatever will have a multiplayer mode themed around that, which attrition is one of them. Mm-hmm. So you can choose to play attrition, on that map rather than just the story. You can choose to play without the story, I guess is what it would be.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that's what that is. Minecraft, they've got the official free Halloween pack up there right now, the texture pack. That's free, and who knows how long it'll be free because Halloween's over in November.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
So, and then Skyrim is going to be the next mashup pack. They had the Mass Effect mashup pack, which came with the textures and some character skins, and they had the Mass Effect tutorial level, which was really
you were
awesome.
telling me about that, yeah.
Right, and this one's going to have the same thing. It'll have the texture pack, some Skyrim-themed character skins, and
40 new character skins.
a Skyrim tutorial.
Yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool.
That will be.
No word on what it's going to cost. I'm guessing the exact same price as the Mass Effect one.
$3.99 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So boom,
Okay.
and then we already said GTA Online getting the stimulus package this week, but they're adding the Beach Bums pack, and they're adding the job creation tools to where people will be able to make their own jobs and
That'll
missions.
be interesting to see how that, especially if you can post up
For other people, yeah. We can make some frag tag missions.
That's right.
Post them up.
Like some of the ones we were talking about earlier today.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Walking Dead 2, we said earlier that it's been revealed. You'll play as Clementine. That's scheduled for later this year. According to Telltale, Season 2 will continue the story of Clementine, a young girl orphaned at the outset of the undead apocalypse, now left to her own devices to seek safety and survive in a world gone mad. Now assuming the role of an ordinary child, players will struggle to outwit both the dead and the living in situations that will test their morals and control the flow of the story through their decisions and actions. Which sounds in a nutshell like your average Walking Dead episode.
Game, yeah.
Boom. Bioshock Infinite, Burial at Sea, coming November 12th for $15, or free if you got the season pass, which I certainly hope you got the season pass, because it was only $20.
Yeah, that's pretty cheap for a season pass.
And you got, content right out of the gate for the single-player campaign, plus you're getting the Burial at Sea, and the other one that's coming out, the second part, and the Clash in the Clouds, which wasn't that great, but it was still part of the season pass. So this first episode is going to be $15. That next episode is going to be $15, and then Clash in the Clouds was $5. So you add all those together, and you're looking at $35 when you could have just got the season pass for $20. So it's worth it.
J-Ray don't like
it's worth it to get the season pass.
You know that.
J-Ray likes downloading them one by one.
You know that, and guess who didn't get the season pass?
You didn't get the season pass for Bioshock Infinite?
Nope.
I thought you did.
Nope. Guess who's buying them bad boys one by one?
You had got a season pass. What was that season pass you got? There was a game you did get the season pass for. What was it? Was it Judgment?
It was Judgment. I did have the Judgment season
Judgment, because it was cheap.
Yeah. That was a mistake.
It was because the maps they came out with, people can fly, or just God. They did a great job with Bulletstorm.
Let's see a sequel to that instead.
Yeah. But please take them off. And did you see where they renamed them to Epic Vancouver now or something like that?
Somebody's gonna be like, "Hey man, we're gonna take your game, and I know you ain't got time to work on it, so we're gonna give it to people may fly. Don't let them touch my game, dog. You gotta find somebody else."
Yeah, them make the next Infinity
Cliffy
Blade.
B had a stroke when he played Judgment.
Yeah, and that's probably why he left. He was like, man,
he had already left, but well, I guess they were already probably working on it.
Yeah, I mean,
they made that game in done 3 days.
He had done. He had done interviews about Judgment, so he was still there when they were working on it.
Okay.
He left the second day they worked on it.
He left while it was still in development. But yeah, WWE 2K14 getting 3 DLC packs that will be released by the end of January. The first pack,
NWO.
The NWO pack, boy.
You got Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Macho Man, Randy Savage,
Six, Kurt Hennig, Scott Steiner, and the Giant, son.
I want to relive those days.
The Giant was an NWO.
Yeah, he was.
Yo, that makes me want to get WWE.
It does.
2K14.
I was thinking about it.
NWO was my stable, yo. The Outsiders, yo.
Yeah.
Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Those are my guys.
Oh, man. But anyway, so they'll also have the second piece of DLC, the Superstars and Moves pack, include Fandango, Big E, Langston, Brie Bella, Nikki Bella, and Summer Rae. That sounds a little lackluster.
Yeah, it does.
That pack's set to launch in December for $7.99. Grants players 30 new moves and taunts, such as the Psycho Driver and a two-handed choke slam. So I guess they're adding moves now as DLC.
I guess so.
It's kind of gay.
Really?
Why don't they just have the moves in there? I don't know.
Yeah.
God, I mean, why couldn't they just done the NWO pack and let
It's probably moves for your creative.
Right, it is for your
something
creative.
like that, yeah. Oh, the last pack seems kind of...
All right, lastly, in January, you'll be getting legendary wrestlers Bruno Sammartino, Dusty Rhodes, Rick Rude, Jake the Snake Roberts, along with free of charge Virgil. The pack includes 15 superstar parts for use in the game's creation suite, so you can make Goldberg, Batista, and the Undertaker player models. The season pass... the final season pass eligible pack will be available for $8.99. So, but the season pass itself will be $20.
Yeah.
All right, and Halo Spartan Assault coming to Xbox One and Xbox 360. Oh. And we pretty much predicted this was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was a limited audience and where it was at, and now they're bringing it with all the DLC that's come to Windows 8 and Windows phones. Plus, they're adding a co-op mode, which I think is going to be great, because the whole time I played Spartan Assault on my Surface, I was like, man, this game needs a co-op mode. Yeah. And here it is, getting a co-op mode.
They only did it for you.
I'm glad.
I heard you saying it.
I'm glad they did. All right, Ryse Season Pass DLC. Lots of Season Passes and DLC getting announced, in case you didn't realize this pattern.
It's a cash cow.
It is. Yeah. Details. The Season Pass will be $20 for Ryse. Will grant you 4 DLC packs for a total of 25% off if you had bought them singly, which J-Ray will do. Yep. All 4 add-on packs together will contain a total of 14 multiplayer maps, a brand new mode, 6 player skins, new level events, and access to a new tier of weapons and armor.
What they need to do, and I'm serious, I guess... What these companies seem to be doing is they make the game, and before they even think about DLC, they're like, we need to get a season pass. Yeah. And we say 4 sound good? Yeah, 4 packs sound good. Like $25, $30. Yeah, it sounds good. All right, hey, you got to hold true to your word though. Make sure you make those packs later. And then they just fly by the seat of their pants. You know, it's like you got to have a season pass now because it's doubling your damn income.
Yeah. Well, and then if you ask me, I think they should just sell season passes and that's it, rather than doing the singular DLC, especially for multiplayer games like Call of Duty and stuff. Yeah. Because you're breaking up your multiplayer fan base. Like fans who bought this DLC multiplayer map pack can play on these maps, and fans who bought that map pack can play on those. Yeah. But we can't play together because y'all got that one and I got this one. If you got the season pass, then you get them all. So they should just do season pass, and that's it for multiplayer.
But some games that would work. Like I could see Call of Duty and stuff that would work. Other games it won't work because what if you want like Bioshock? What if somebody wants Burial at Sea, but they didn't want, Clash in the Clouds? Yeah. But now they're forced to pay more money than they would have for Burial at Sea.
For a single-player game, it makes sense. Yeah. There's no multiplayer in Bioshock Infinite, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Well, but another thing you got to think of, too, is maybe when Map Pack 3 or 4 comes out, you're not playing that game anymore, but when Map Pack 1 comes out, you are. So you want Map Pack 1, but you're not going to get Map Pack 4.
Unless you have the season pass, then you already paid for it.
Right, but what I'm saying
is... So you'll probably go back and play it.
But what I'm saying is you force the customer to pay more money, So
I don't think they have any problems forcing customers to pay more money.
You're also some customers just don't like me. I don't like paying for something that I don't even know what it is yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's why now they're announcing, like right here with WWE, they're breaking it down for you.
Well, each
DLC exactly what you're getting, down to how many moves, what wrestlers you're getting.
Yeah. Some of them,
what size their crotch is going to be. I mean, they're like right up front.
Some of them, yes, but with Ryse, it's just like 14 maps, a new mode. You don't know what the mode is. You don't know what the maps are. You don't know when that. You don't know any of that. Yeah. So some yes, but others no.
Yeah, but at the same time, you don't have to buy your season pass before these DLCs over here.
No, you don't. But if you're only selling the season pass, I have to buy that season pass if I want Map Pack 1 before I know what Map Pack 4 is.
Right. I'd be fine with that for multiplayer.
But you buy a lot of season passes. I mean that's something that you do. Now me, I just hate paying for something before I know what it is. And that's
right.
Well, you think they'd keep it the same way? Because either way, you think they would think, we're gonna have people that buy the season pass, and those people that regret buying the season pass are people that do pick and choose.
Dragon Age comes out with a season pass. J-Ray will download that bad boy. He don't give a fuck what it is.
You don't need to know. You don't even need to tell me.
All I need to know is it's Dragon Age.
Just put mystery DLC on there and I'll download it. $99.99
Day one,
mystery
son.
DLC. You want me to pay $120? I'll pay $120 for getting $99.99.
Just give me an extra piece of armor.
Yeah,
Down.
Some Dragon.
Buy right now.
I cannot wait for Inquisition.
All right, so Dead Rising 3 getting that season pass.
Oh, speak of the devil.
And 4 DLC packs. So I love that round number.
That sounded good when they were thinking about it.
Dead Rising 3 players will be able to purchase 4 planned downloadable add-ons with a season pass that will cost $30. Capcom announced alongside the release of a new trailer for Halloween. Oh,
they're even going to tell us what those DLC packs are going to be called.
DLC packs are called Operation Broken Eagle, Fallen Angel, Chaos Rising.
Gotta have Chaos Rising.
And The Last Agent.
Gotta have it.
They'll sell for $10 each, so you're getting a 25% discount if you get that season pass. According to Capcom, DLC packs will give players the opportunity to explore the untold stories of Los Perdidos, which is the city in Dead Rising 3. Each one will contain new missions, characters, weapons, and more. It sounds like it's going to be all single-player story-based DLC, which is what
I like. Yeah. I like that kind of DLC. Map packs.
Yeah. Unlike the Ryse DLC, which sounds like it's going to be all multiplayer.
Yeah, and that seems like is going to be a pretty decent single-player game.
The
type of game that would benefit from good story DLC.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Okay,
it's like Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider needed some good.
Real.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, Call of Duty, whole different ballgame. Yeah. Multiplayer DLC is different story there. But games like Ryse or Tomb Raider is a good one, or Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed should have a good mix of both because it has a good multiplayer following. But games like he said, Tomb Raider, multiplayer DLC is stupid.
It was.
Yeah. Well, multiplayer in Tomb Raider was stupid.
It was.
I mean, give us.
It was fun for like 2 hours.
That game could have really benefited. That game could have really benefited from a good Minerva's Den type story DLC.
Yeah,
gotta throw that Minerva's Den out there. That was a pinnacle DLC, man. They just did it right.
They did.
Minerva's Den was better than Bioshock 2. It was so good, man.
Oh yeah, it was.
Because it was everything in Bioshock 2, but at a faster pace.
Yeah, and the story was better.
Yeah, it was just Minerva's Den kicked ass. If you haven't played Minerva's Den,
do yourself a favor.
Get out there and download the DLC for Bioshock 2.
Yeah, and then there's been some other games who have had something similar.
Yeah, I mean Dead Space has done it twice. With
Severed,
and what was the newest one?
I don't know.
Newest one wasn't the greatest, but the one.
Well, it wasn't as good as Severed.
No, Severed was good. Severed was real good because you played as the people from.
And Skyrim, Elder Scrolls always does good DLC.
They damn sure do.
With the exception of the horse armor pack for.
Well, I will say Dragon Age Origin had damn good single player DLC, but Dragon Age 2 was a little bit lacking. And they had good DLC, but it
was so far spread out.
Yeah.
But like by the time the last one came out, I didn't even play it because it was like a year and a half old.
Yeah, exactly. But Dragon Age Origins had Awakening, which was awesome, awesome, and then it had the Witch Hunt.
Yeah, well, the Awakening was like a Minerva's Den type deal. That was like a whole separate
expansion. Yeah, it was. But in a Witch Hunt, you went out looking for Morgan after. I mean, they did some real good stuff. Liliana's Song, Golems of Amarok. I mean, they had a bunch of good ones.
Check those out.
You like Dragon Age?
I've never even played it, to be honest.
You would really like it. It's your type of game. I think you like RPGs, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I never jumped on the bandwagon, but I want to now.
Dragon Age 2 is sloppy. It's a little bit sloppy.
Yeah.
It was rushed.
Okay.
But it's still a good game.
And then there's a guy in there named Anders. Watch out for that guy.
Watch out for that guy.
Watch out for that guy.
Watch out for that guy. BioWare, Mass Effect 4 will probably not relate to Shepard's story at all whatsoever. So there you have it.
I'm getting more and more excited. I meant to say this when we were on the last edit for Dead Rising 3, though. Every video I see makes me a little more excited. I just hope it just doesn't kick me in the nuts like all the other Dead Risings.
Well, you don't have to worry about the timing stuff.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I've been excited about a Dead Rising game before. Been here before. And that's what scares me. I'm getting excited. I'm trying to put all that behind me. And I'm getting there.
Carry on.
But if it knocks me down again, I don't
Never
give a damn if you put Dead Rising 4 in the Xbox One and it spits $1 million out. I'm not buying it.
Well, it's buying itself then.
Well, no.
It spits $1 million out.
Because it'd probably kick me in the nuts.
I've got no problem.
It'd probably end up being counterfeit money. You get arrested for trying to spend counterfeit money and get locked up.
Instead of the president's face, it'd be like a zombie.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Fable Legends to launch as Season 1.
Another game I'm starting to get more excited about.
I'm actually kind of glad they're going this route. Like, they'll have like a whole bunch of content, which will be Season 1.
I'm very glad
you play through that, the co-op, and it'll be, story-based stuff. And then they'll come out with a Season 2 of story-based content. And this is similar to what they're doing with Killer Instinct. They're taking their good franchises and putting them into like this season stuff. And I think that's a good way to
keep people playing.
To keep people playing. It's also a smart way to invest in first party franchises.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean?
One of the things that worried me the most about Fable Legends when it was announced was the content that it would have in the game, and this kind of alleviates that.
Right. So. It does. Boom. All right, and then last, Red Dead Redemption 2 in development?
That'd be nice.
What? Now, this is all,
speculation.
Yeah. Rockstar's kept pretty quiet, about Red Dead Redemption 2, but
we might just see it by 2019.
There's a new employee document that suggests Red Dead Redemption 2 could already be in development and planned to release on, guess what, next-gen consoles. So.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense, because, Grand Theft Auto 5, what's his name? It's been years since I played this game.
Grand Theft Auto 5?
No, Red Dead Redemption. The main character in that.
Oh, John Marston.
Yeah, he was in the character selection.
Grand Theft Auto 5. Who are you talking about? Franklin? Michael?
Yeah, he can be your dad.
Yeah. So, it's fresh in their minds. So, yeah. So I don't know if it's a little prequel.
Dude, Red Dead was...
Maybe that's a hint.
It is.
Red Dead was such a freaking classic.
Yeah, freaking.
It was. It was classic.
Classic.
Awesomeness.
Material.
Classic. Well, that is it for the news and for the show as a whole. Holla, y'all.
Peace.
Frag Attack Radio.